Hi, and welcome to Ocean Yumi's channel. So today I'm going to talk about The Fisherman's Diary, which comes on Netflix. I'm going to try and give a brief as opinion as I can because I don't want to give it away because I really want you to watch it. I mean, I probably might. Well, it is what it is. It ends up coming out how it is, isn't it? So, The Fisherman Diary is based on a true story um, of a fisherman's daughter. Because when I heard Fisherman's Diary, I thought it was about the fisherman, but it wasn't about the fisherman. It is about the fisherman, but it's partly not. It is a Cameroon movie. Oh, that's on Netflix. You have a actor from Ghana, Noah Ramsey. He also stars in it because he's the only face that I recognize. Um, the Fisherman Diary tells a tale, a true story of a young lady who have a thirst for education, and she's sort of denied it, but she does end up in a better place and being inspirational to other people. Now, now, as you can see by the picture, this is not the exact picture they put on the Netflix. The picture's different. But this is the dad in the distance. But you don't see this picture of him in the distance when he's on the boat. So, this is the synopsis of The Fisherman's Diary. The Fisherman's Diary is about a 12-year-old girl called Eka who is inspired by the story of the youngest Nobel Peace Prize, Malala Yusufzai. She is determined to go to school in a village of fishermen where education of a girl is considered to be taboo. A burning drive and determination to break this old, you know, what's it called, tradition, gets her emboldened with her father, Solomon, past experience with education. Now, the reason why they mention that he is a bit um, not good with the education experience because his wife had a longing for education, and you see it in the love, in the 2/3 or not even 2/3 of the movie, what you see anyway. And the reason why he's like that as well, because the wife dies as well. Somehow she dies. I don't know how she contracts what she contracts, but she dies. I can't remember exactly. So the daughter and the father is taking care of the mother until her last breath. So I'll show you a car. Let me show you a car. Oh yes, it's on. It's on it. It's on it. It's on it. I love it when it's like that. Okay. So this is a car, and this is her father. A bit more closer picture of him. So, um, so the daughter and the father goes fishing, and they sell, fish as well, because he's a fisherman, obviously. So in this part of Cameroon, I think it is, little girls are just, they help out with the boating because they're a fishing community. You see all the boats and everything, and not only that, you get a feeling that there is a lot of traditionals in lots of things, where, i.e., with debt, with the owing of debt, for one, which is highly shown in this. Um, you see a scene with the teacher and the children she's teaching. It's like, she's teaching, and the girl is like, she really have this longing to learn. She has this longing, honestly. Honestly, after I watched the movie, I literally closed the laptop for a day. I literally had to close the laptop. It disturbed because there's a scene that really disturbs me, I think. And I'm trying not to, give away, but with some movies you can't help but give away the plot. So in the movie, the dad has a brother who's at first he's for the good. Yes, you think okay, he's for the good of the family, but he's not. So he gets into debt with these two brothers. They're Mustafa and I can't remember the other one. They're like of Islamic kind of thing. So as usual, when you owe debt to people, they come around and um they bother you. You need to pay your debt. You need to pay your debt. You need to pay your debt. So Solomon, at first, was giving advice to the father. He's giving advice to the daughter. The daughter also, like, she finds a paper which is about the Nobel Peace Prize winner. I think she finds it in between her mum's stuff because by this time the mum passed away, and she's there to see the mum pass away. So she finds this paper, and in this paper there's this Muslim girl, and which I will show you, the Muslim girl named Malala, and she reads what is said on the paper, and when the paper, the longing, that longing, because you are a girl, you can't have education. You're not allowed. As a woman, you can't have education. Marla was shut down by the Taliban because she wasn't allowed to have education. So this also drives little Acre a lot. Now Acre's only 12, right? At this time, she's 12. She's a 12-year-old little girl. You know, she's helping out. She's helping out with the money, getting money for the dad. She's doing daughter, being a daughter basically. She's been a daughter. Whoops. She's been a she's been a daughter basically. So I want to show you Solomon, Mr. Solomon. I mean, didn't like Solomon much. Didn't like Solomon at first. I didn't. I hope it shows up clear on the other side. I'll show you Mr. Solomon. This is Mr. Solomon. He's Acre's, I think, the dad's brother. And these are the two men that he owes money to. So, one of the brothers is quite violent and, puts a knife to his throat and all that because the film has a build up. It's a little build up to it. So the brother says, I'm going to cut your throat if you don't give me my money, basically. But you don't see, like, after they leave him and they have it out or whatever, you don't see what else happens. So the dad is basically like, she's getting money, she's earning, and she's learning in a kind of way, but she don't go inside of the classroom. She's on the outside of the classroom learning. She's learning and learning and learning and learning. Then the dad goes around to the teacher and goes and threatens the teacher as well because the daughter's learning, because one of the village girls goes and tells the dad that she's being taught by the lady. So Solomon, with his big self, goes around and threatens the teacher. I think it's Solomon. No, the dad goes and threatens the teacher. Now, with all this, it makes you look at education in a whole different light, because in some places Women are not allowed to be um, taught, not allowed to read a book. They're not allowed to, have careers. They're not allowed to do a lot of things. So in this Cameroon community, this is what is happening right here. So you're seeing it in real time, and I think these practices still happens. Anyways, we're gonna jump a bit ahead. In the movie, Solomon, right, talks around the dad, and he finds her reading or something, and then the Solomon tells the dad, okay, whatever, like the how, like that he's gonna marry her off. The best way to do is marry her off. So she's begging and begging and begging and begging. No, dad, I don't want to do that. I'm not going to read. I'm not going to do nothing no more. She literally begs. Right, just remember this. This is a child, by the way. This is a 12-year-old child begging, 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 begging. So the long and short is, I think she goes somewhere and she hides, tried to get out of this wedding, and they find her. So when they find her now, they get her dressed for her wedding. She has to do the wedding. She ain't got no choice in the matter. So she goes, they do the wedding. I'm trying to remember some of it because some of it I just wanted to forget a little bit. So she goes to the wedding. They dress her. She goes to the wedding, and you see her go through a lot of things what a child should not go through, but you don't see it exactly, but you see something, yeah. And then you see the next day, so she goes to her father and she tells the father says, you need to go back to your husband, you know but then later on we find out that Solomon has used her for his debt. So the father says, you make me give up my picking for your debt. And I think the rest you lot will find out. But we're gonna read about the girl that who inspires Marla. And the lady is Eka. I think it's Eka Johnson. Eka Johnson, her name is. I think it is. So Marla, who inspired this whole inspiration to this young girl. Right, we're gonna see who she is. So let's get a close up of her. So this is Marla. So this is the young lady who inspires Eka to go into education. Right, I'm going to read what it says. So, as a young girl, Marla Yasfara defied the Taliban in Pakistan and demanded that girls be allowed to receive education. She was shot in the head by the Taliban gunman in 2012 but survived. In 2014, she became the youngest person to receive a Nobel Peace Prize. Let me see, there's more. Oh, here we go, there's more. So Marla is a Pakistani education, um, the middle person, who at the age of 17 in 2000 advocate, yeah, who at the age of 17 in 2014 became the youngest person to win a peace prize after surviving an assassination attempt by the Taliban. Yasafar became an advocate for girls' education when she herself was still a child, which resulted in the Taliban issuing a death threat against her. On October 2012, a gunman shot Yasafar when she was traveling home from school. She survived and has continued to speak out the importance of education. In 2013, she gave a speech to the United Nations and published her first book, I Am Malala. So they talk about her early life. So this is her. Right, so Marla, I have a right of education. I have the right to play. I have the right to sing. I have the right to talk. I have the right to go market. I have the right to speak up. This is after she got shot. So let us wage graciously struggle against the illiteracy, poverty, and terrorism. Let us pick up our books and our pens, and they are the most powerful weapons. One child, one teacher, one book, one pen, one change the world. So I was trying to find an interview with the actual lady, but I'm gonna try and get the actress who played Eka up. There's none. There's no interview. Probably there is an interview with the actual lady herself, the one who the young lady plays, but it's like it's not on here. I did see it before, but I cannot find it at all. For money, I can't. Love enough for money, I can't find it. But anyways, we're still gonna continue. So we're gonna look at the review, people's review on it. Oops. So this is the review from being on reserved. So Fisherman's Diary review. So I'm just going to read the review. I'm not even going to go too deep. The Fisherman's Diary is a film by Ina Johnson and is one of two Cameroon films on Netflix that I am aware of. The movie premiered on the streaming service on April the 4th. For many patrons around the world, this was an exciting moment, a significant step for the little known Cameroon movie industry, which is eclipsed by the Nollywood film industry next door. Before I watched the film, have a only have a general idea of the plot. I decided that I would do a blog post after sharing my thoughts on it. I don't consider myself to be a movie critic, and this is the first written movie review I've done, inspired by the sheer entertainment to see excitement to see a film by a Cameroonian about a Cameroonian pygmy on the world's largest streaming platform. In the respect in that respect, you could say I loved the film before I watched it. Anyway, here it goes. So it's gonna help me tell the story. The story of a headstrong girl. The film follows Eka, the daughter of a fisherman who is determined to get her education despite the fierce opposition she faces from her beloved father and others in the community. On the busy black beach of their rural fishing village, we meet Eka and her father Solomon. Oh, Solomon's the father, my bad. Whose likelihood, like most others in the community, depends on the sea, where Solo ventures out to the fish, net the fish, which will be sold by Eka, a suave and sharp businesswoman at the age of 12. Eka is a wise beyond her years, speaks to adults with thoughtful confidence and self-awareness that befits the nickname her father has given her, Small Mammy, meaning a little mother in the context. As Eka was named after Solo's mother, Eka not only works hard alongside her father on the beach, but she cooks for the family and cares for her sick mother, who Solo seems to have all but abandoned to her fate. Eka eventually watches her mother die before her eyes, and another experience in a life that seems to be stripping her childhood away by force. Solo is proud of his daughter's hard work and ethics, and values their bond not only as a father and a daughter but as partners. He tells her that he is the one of the best fishermen in the village, and everyone knows it, not by his efforts alone. When them call my name, them call your name too. Initially, this seems to be the way he staunchly objects when Eckhart expresses a desire to attend school like some of the other village children. As we learn later, however, his reasons are rooted in the bitter wreckage of his marriage to Ekka's mother, which he blames on her pursuit of education as well as his patriarchal and matriarchal beliefs, which are shared by others in the community. The cracks begin to form in Eka and Solo's dynamic duo when she sees a group of children reciting a nursery rhyme and her consciously is plagued. She goes home and boldly expresses to her father her desire to join them, but he ignores her inquiry, sending her off on another errand. As we see, Eka is not one whose curiosity can simply be dismissed, and her conviction that she desires to be educated only gets more and more powerful. She is further inspired by a poster of a Nobel Prize winner, Malala Yousafzai, which she discovers among her mother's old books. Seoul, the Seoul village school teacher, reads the words on the poster for Eka, who is illustrated at 12-year old. One child, one teacher, and the one book can change the world. If one man can destroy the world, why can't one girl change the world? Thus begins Eka's quest to learn by any means necessary. She begins hiding behind the schoolroom, peeping at the lessons through a hole in the wooden walls of the ramshackled schoolhouse. She makes sure to complete all her fish sales and house chores as swiftly, so that her father is none the wiser for some time. Eka gains an ally in the school teacher, Madame Breur, who recognizes her sharp wit and desires to learn. Like Eka, Teacher Breur is another female character who repeatedly challenges the unjust patriarchal ideas of the community and stands up for herself when bullied. The film creates a stark contrast of Teacher Breur against the other women in the village. She is educated, she speaks mostly in English, and even outside of the classroom, she is the only person who speaks up for Eka. Right rights to be educated and protest her marriage. Even teacher Bro Boss, the school principal administrator, Mr. Ang, is verminated against the idea of Eka getting an education, against her father's wishes. He only begins to reconsider his position when he realizes she is the only hope if the village school is to stand a chance at an up and coming academic contest. I also noticed that although she played a small role, Mr. Ang's wife is similar to the teacher bro in that she challenges her husband and ideas and gives him advice about his work. Again, I saw a elaborate, I never can say these words, a contrasting of educated woman to an uneducated woman of the village. Deliberated, there we go, to the uneducated women of the village who do not challenge the status quo. I don't eventually care for the juxtaposition. It is a generational that waved throughout the story. Generalization. Why do I keep reading it wrong? In one sense, we see Eka's friend on Dong saute a pile of smoked fish with her mother, who is talking with the friend. Adong's mother lambasts educated people, using Barbara Eka's mother as an example of how education wrecks families and does nothing for profit. And Dong proudly lets her mother know that she has no desire to go to school and that she aspires to follow in her mother's career footsteps as a fish seller. Dong is in many ways anti-hero, contrasting with Eka in this story. While Eka is facing violent opposition from her father and uncle, in her efforts, in her efforts, in her efforts to be educated, Adong is being forced to go to the school by her own uncle. As promised, he made her father before his death. In one scene, Adon admits to endeavours Eka that school bores her and she rather be at the beach with everyone else. It is Adon who runs to tell Solo that Eka has been having private lessons at Teacher Bro's house, ultimately leading to Solo's decision to marry Eka off. Adele and her mother are not the only women who are enemies of the progress for the patriarch, the protagonist, for our protagonist. After her failed attempt to escape the village in a canoe, Eka is captured and brought back by her uncle and soon to be brother-in-law Mustafa. And as a return, Eka slung over Luca's shoulder. There is there is a crowd of women waiting to mock and shame her as she is taken to be prepared for false wedding. False marriage, shall I say. False wedding. Okay. Now, all through this movie, you see the determination of this child. This child is so determined. She's so determined. She even went against her father reading that same poster she comes across. Her determination gets her gets her penalty of being married to a man who is older than her for a debt of another man. But when the father discovers when he finds out or they tell him why this has happened, he hits solo and yeah, basically. So in the end, the heroine, though she'd been through a whole lot of trials, tribulations, and um, mocking, whatever, everything else together, she does actually become the village hero later on. So this young lady here, the one who plays the Eka, is her facial expressions. I think for me, she doesn't really. So at one point, she just looks. It's like she's in her own world. You know, when a child's in their own world, she just have this look on her face. It's only when like she gets taken by the uncle to go to get married and she's in tears, but she cries all the way through the movie. She literally cries all the way through the movie for one thing or the other. So um Eka is a very, I would say, inspirational character that's come out of Cameroon. She's very inspirational. I think right, if only it was able to show other little girls this movie, if it didn't have the child abuse and stuff in it, um then it, it was like those movies where like it's PG, then I think everybody would like it, but it didn't fail to entice you into the movie. It didn't fail, not one bit, because though I left it and I came back again, I was still able to catch up on the movie. I was still able to see the dynamics of the father and the daughter. I was still able to what's the word I'm looking for? I was still able to, like, you know, it's like you're looking through her eyes what she goes through. And even though when you just think that she's about to um commit suicide in the movie, then she turns up somewhere else. And basically it is a very good movie to watch. I will say the Cameron definitely went all out on this one. It's a very good movie to watch. um it's very sad. I mean, you want to cry for her, and I don't cry at movies, but you want to cry for her. Is that sad? And being that she is the type of child she is, determination. Her determination shows all the way through the whole movie. It doesn't waver at all. And even her friend that she trusts is kind of doesn't, what's the word, doesn't, you know, kind of betrays her. But she still continues. She continues and continues and continues to the end. You even see her as a grown up. You know, you see her as grown up and what she's done for her village, and what she probably is still doing for her village. So I just thought I'd do this um, small review, well, small opinion and review on this as well, whilst adding others' opinion on this, so that you can see, so you can go and see the movie. I mean, don't give away most of the plot, but don't let that stop you. You go see the movie yourself. You tell me what you think, because after that, I literally closed my laptop, and I actually put it down because normally I'd be on it all day watching videos or whatever. It's like a laptop addiction. But then I realized while watching this young lady, I closed it and I went off and I did other things for once. And um and I think, you know people waste education in the Western world. Education's wasted. The children over here don't really approve. Don't really What's that? I don't know. I can't never think of words. They don't. They don't. It's like they don't want education. Some of them over here. Now she was in such a predicament. She had that thirst for education. She probably would have died just for just to get education. And she is a very smart young lady. At the end of the day, you see her smart and wittiness. You see all that in there, roll into one. So that person's review ain't far out. The reason why I didn't finish read the rest of it, because it gives away a lot of the movie in the long run, because it's a blogger. So there is other people who's reviewed this movie. I haven't watched the reviews, but this young lady is a very good actress, very very good actress. She really draws you in. This little girl here. You just like, wow. You really want to go into the screen and go deal with the men and their foolishness. You know, and yeah, that's all I want to say. Really, I just have to talk about the movie because I just feel like I need to talk about it. I was meant to talk about Midsummer, but this one is more. It's true. Say it's true to life. It's more real. I thought I'd talk about her more. So with that said, I'm gonna come off. Please like and subscribe, and just if she don't inspire you, well, I don't know what will, because she inspired me a little bit. So with that said, I'll come off. Please like and subscribe and comment. Thank you. Bye. See you. Bye.